family. If you're in or near Columbia, South Carolina, you've got to visit the House of Hathor, located at 6319 North Main Street. Open Tuesday through Saturday, it's your one-stop shop for African clothing, African masks, natural soaps, incense, candles, jewelry, and more. Plus, they've got a beautiful event space. Owned and operated by Baba Rutaski and Mama Neterma Canute. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the culture. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the movement. When you support the House of Hathor, you support the people.
Libation is an intermediary process that we use to stay in connection with our ancestors, the spirit of our ancestors. When we talk about our ancestors, we're talking about like your great-great-grandparents, your great-parents, your great-grandparents, or your mothers, your fathers, grandparents, those that we consider, we say transition instead of dying. They've transitioned to a spiritual realm. Libation is like a doorway, a passageway that we use in order for us to keep that contact with those ancestors that we remember and that we're always being reminded of. The altar is a representation of where you go to talk to your ancestors. So the altar is a true representation of all the things that mean the most to you. So all those ancestors that have transitioned, you can place pictures on there, or you can place objects that remind you of them. You can put food on the altar that represents what your ancestors like to eat. The libation prayer that I do, it is one that my ancestors asked me or instructed me to do for them. So everybody may have a different way of saying a libation. There's so many different forms of saying it, so many different ways to say it. There is no correct way or the so-called right way to honor your ancestors. When you're talking about spirit, when you're talking about manifestations and enhancements and increase, all those things come from spirit. That's something that's innate. That's something that's inside you. And the ancestors, our angels, are the only ones that can provide that for us. So we have a class here at the House of Hathor that we teach people about what libation is, how it is honored, how we do a ceremony, and then we ask them to do specific things themselves that will honor their ancestors, and in the hopes that their ancestors will start talking to them about what they want them to do to honor them. Because once you become more in tune to your spirit, the more spirit will be in tune to you.
Greetings, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the House of Hathor's Libation Liberation Lifestyle Ceremony, where we come to you with a message from the ancestors that continues to be the foundation of life, that it is a part of our values, our interests, and our principles that we share with life and nature, our true brothers and sisters. And as we continue to honor, as we continue to acknowledge, and as we continue to venerate the ancestors each and every day, that we are fortified, we are increased, we are magnified, we are enriched and enhanced through the Spirit, so that we may continue to be the true vessels, altars, and temples, the true institution, industry, and the environment for the Spirit to live within. You see, this vessel, it is housed with the Spirit. This vessel is housed with the energy, the inner God, the inner generations of ancestors that came through us with us so long ago, since the beginning of time. Each and every one of us have 1,504,000 at the minimum ancestors that dwell within us since the beginning of time. Our soul houses all that energy, that spirit, and that soul of our ancestors. And we acknowledge them and honor them each and every day, whether they be positive or negative. We honor them because they teach us what to do or they teach us what not to do. So we give thanks to the ancestors for teaching us what to do. We give thanks to our ancestors for teaching us what not to do. Because if it wasn't for their example, then we would not be able to live the ordained or anointed life that has been given to us. The Creator is what gave us life. You see, our parents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, they were used as vessels to bring the energy, the spirit, the soul of our ancestors forward. They were chosen by the Creator to bring us forward. It wasn't their choosing. They were only vessels to bring the next ancestor forward so that we can continue to do the work that we're required to do, just like life in nature. Life in nature brings the next life in nature forward. That is what it does. And it lives in that dynamic that is being given. Whatever the dynamic is that life in nature brings forward, whatever the dynamic that the Creator brings forward through our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents, they were chosen as vessels to bring the next vessel forward. And so we want to honor them this day. We want to magnify our essence of life, our energy, our spirit of life, so that we may be able to be enhanced, increased, and enriched, so that we may do the work that we're required to do, and that we become the better examples for those that are coming after us. So let us bring the ancestors forward. Let them know that we have never forgotten them, that we are reminded each and every day of our ancestors, whether it be those that are biologically attuned to you, or those that were just a part of your life because their spirit linked with your spirit. And they knew that they can be a better example for you than what you have before you. We call upon our ancestors far and near, fathers and mothers of our fathers, mothers and fathers of our mothers, to bear witness to all that we have done. And it is by your example that you continue to inspire us towards reclaiming our ancestral minds, regenerating our ancestral spirit, liberating our families, our homes, and our communities, and restoring our greatness as a people. We pour libation to bring into our midst your venerable ancestral spirit, radiating your great wisdom, your courage, your dedication, and your unyielding commitment to victory by any means necessary. It is in the honor of our Creator, the great ancestor of all ancestors, our mothers and fathers, our sisters and our brothers, our children and their children, our grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, our aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, and elders of the community, that we pour this libation in your honor. In the honor of the Creator, our great ancestor of all ancestors, and the various manifestations of the Creative Spirit, we pour libation. Ashe. For our esteemed ancestors, who laid the foundation for human civilization, and who provides the wisdom to which we live and the models by which our lives are guided, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors, who suffered the atrocities and the horrors of our Ma'afa, but yet demonstrated the victorious power of the ancestral spirit by maintaining their dignity no matter the cost, we pour libation. Ashe. And for our esteemed ancestors who survived and made it possible for us to be here today, that we continue the fight of our ancestral liberation and our vindication, we pour libation. Ashe. And finally, for our children and their children and future generations of our ancestors to come, that they too in their time will vindicate our race from all adversaries, and that they will continue to imprint upon the world the great genius of our ancestral humanity, we pour libation. Ashe. May your venerable spirit engulf this occasion to reaffirm our ancestral canopy. May you continue to cleanse us of all negative energies that surrounds us, that you will break all work of negative magic that is against us, that you will take away from us all envy, evil, bad luck, and invincible enemies, and that you will bring protection, peace, and prosperity into our lives, into the lives of our children, our children's children, and our children's children's children, and into the lives of our families, our homes, and our communities. And we say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Dua Neter. So my brothers and sisters, this day that the ancestors have brought to us, that we have the breath of life that is within us as well as without us, that as we continue to communicate through the breath of life with each other and we transfer the energy within ourselves to each other, that we may be magnified through the ancestors. Because what we're speaking about today, my brothers and sisters, we're speaking about our commitment, our obligation, and our responsibility. You see, we have an obligation once we are born. We are committed to doing the work that we are required to do, and we are responsible for doing the work that we have been committed to doing. Responsibility, it is only the ability to respond to what life has given to you. That is responsibility, the ability to respond to your obligation, to your commitment, to the spirit that gave you life. That is the great ancestor of all ancestors, our creator or God, Yahweh, Allah, whatever it is that you call it. You have a responsibility to honor your commitment and your obligation for living. And as we honor that, we have to be the examples so that those that are coming after us, our children, when we honor our commitment, our obligation, and our commitment, then we become the better examples for the children as they continue to learn from us through our example, not just by what we speak, not just by how we think, but it is how we act, react, proact for them, so that we can be the examples of what life is supposed to be, just as nature and life does for the seeds that it puts out, or the animals that they commit themselves to. You see, every animal, just like every mammal, is the better example for their young. They teach them about how to hunt, how to live, how to recognize threats that may come to them. And we're supposed to do the same. That is honoring our commitment to the Creator. That is honoring our commitment to our ancestors, because we have an obligation and a commitment to be the examples of what that looks like. And as we continue to honor and our children continues to learn from us through our actions, the words play a small part, but it is our actions that we commit ourselves to. It is our obligation to those that are coming after us, because we have a commitment to our spirit that dwells within us. That is where, if you have any question about anything that's happening with you, for you, or through you, or to you, your questions are to the spirit that dwells within you. It is not to man. It is to the spirit, because that is where your life came from. That is where your breath of life came from. So all of your questions that you have about life itself, it is only through the spirit that you will find the answer. And then if you're looking for an example, then you look to those that are immediately around you, or that are part of your community, your common unity, those that share that like spirit that you have within yourself. And as you continue to honor your ancestors, even those that you even don't know, because they're still a part of you, that means that you must do your own research to find out who those ancestors are that are within you. That is your research that you must do every day. Regardless to what school you may go to or university that you go to, those things don't matter. Those things are only required to teach you how to operate in man's system. But your true knowledge, your true information, your true instructions comes through the spirit of your interdependentness, your interconnection, your interrelationship, as well as the interaction that is within you. Because you are interdependent with life and nature. You are interdependent with the spirit. You are not alone at all. You are not an individual. Because being an individual means that they have detached you from your spirit. Being an individual means that they have detached you from your energy, because others want to use you for what they want to use you for. You are a part of a collective universe, a collective spirit that is a part of the one that gave us all the breath of life. So don't let anybody tell you that you're an individual. You are part of a collective unity of essence of life. You are attached to life and nature because you come from life and nature. And you have more that you are supposed to offer to the world. That is your creativity. That is your enhancements, your increase. That is your enrichment that you have been given through the breath of life. And as you share that with life and nature, as you continue to honor your commitment, your obligation, and that you will be held accountable for doing. Because accountability is a part of that commitment. Honor your commitment because you will be held accountable for honoring your commitment and your obligation. So to your responsibilities of recognizing that you are a spiritual being having human experiences. And your experiences teach you. Just like it teaches animals, just like it teaches nature, it teaches us as well. That regardless of the obstacles and the hurdles that may come your way, you still have to go forward. Forge through all of those obstacles and hurdles. Forge through all of those depressions, oppressions, and depressions. And be able to reveal to the world, project upon the world the reflection of what has been given to you. Because you are a manifester and you have the generator or the generations of ancestors that dwells within you. That you may continue to honor your commitment and your obligation, and you are being responsible for what has been given to you. And the first thing that has been given to you is the breath of life. That is the energy. That is what we share with each other. As you speak, your breath goes forward, and everybody else inhales that breath. That is an energy. And that is why we have to be particular about what we say, who we say it to, and why we're saying it. Because when you give that energy forward and they inhale that energy, now they have taken on your energy and you are taking on their energy. And if it's not the right energy that you need within yourself, then you must do a prayer of detachment so that you can detach yourselves from that specific energy that you have inhaled. We have to be better vessels, better altars, better temples, so that the energy that lives within us can magnify itself through our actions. And that as we react to everything that has been given to us, that we become responsible in our reaction to what life and nature has given to us through the breath of life and through this temple, this altar, this vessel that has been given to us. Again, we're speaking about commitment, obligation, and responsibility. Those are the things that continues to perpetuate us forward. And then, yes, there are consequences, and consequences don't have to be negative. They can be positive, because if you are doing what you're supposed to do, then you have a positive consequence for honoring the ancestors, for honoring your commitment, for honoring the Creator that has given you the breath of life, for honoring nature and life. You get consequences for that. But when you don't do it, not honor your commitment, not honor your obligation, not honor your responsibility, then you're given a consequence as well that could possibly be negative. It all depends on why you are here. And there are only two questions that we should always be asking ourselves every day. What am I and what am I designed to do? It is not about the who. The who will have you distracted as well as attracted to other things. Who only honors ego. Ego is a part of the who. Spirit is a part of the what. We are spiritual beings having human experiences. And then as we continue to ask the next question, well, what am I designed to do? Then the Spirit will answer that for you through your enrichments, your enhancements, and your increase. Those are the only two questions that we should ask ourselves every day. What am I and what am I designed to do? And that is how you honor your commitment, your obligation, and your responsibility. Your words will come forward, your thoughts will be different, and your actions will then be pure. It will be aligned in truth, and you will be justified in living your truth. And then you will find that you will have more balance, more harmony, and order in your life. Now, does it mean that it will be all righteous? No, you're going to have obstacles and hurdles. You're going to have different spirits or people that are going to go against what you are designed to do. But then you have the power of discernment upon you so that you can recognize the difference between the two, so that you'll know which path that you're supposed to follow, and you honor that path. You walk that path. You live that path. So this is what the ancestors is bringing to us today. It is about commitment, obligation, and responsibility. the ability to respond to the breath of life that has been given to each and every one of us. So we say peace and power to you all this day. Have a wonderful and a blessed day. Let us continue to live, love, and learn our processes of life so that we may honor our commitment, our obligation, and our responsibility. Ashe to our ancestors.